According to the Jewish version of his birth, recorded in the Sefer Todos Jeshu, the man we call Jesus Christ was actually Jehosuah Ben Nazaria, born of Mary, and no mention of a father. Further study of this name reveals such facts like the letter J did not exist prior to 1524, so neither the name Jesus or Jehoshua were ever recorded prior to then. Even the name Jehovah, off which Jehoshua's is based, is from the original Hebrew Jehovah, the vocalization of the secret name for the Tetragrammaton, which is the mystical counterpart to the letters and word YHWH, pronounced Yehovah. As such, Tetragrammaton's proper name is Yehovah, and what your eyes behold is God. Just like you, a five-pointed star. Truly, we are made in His image, which is unlocked by a key, at least, according to the original but forbidden teachings of the Magia Jesu Christi, written by the historical man we know in the Bible as the Jesus Christ. The following are the occult secrets Jehoshua desired to reveal, the foundation of the Masonry framework, and the jealously guarded truths the Catholic Vatican does not want you to know. There are occurrences of the name Hu Jesus, which means sun and breath in the Druidic language of the Gauls, Jesus in Greek, and Yeshua in Hebrew. The other names break down as Ben, meaning of or son of, Naz, the connection, and Arya. Thus, he was Jehoshua, son of the Aryan lineage, the people of Arya, whose sacred but secreted knowledge Jehoshua's Nazarene sect practiced through a sophist understanding of the Kabbalah. By the age of 13, Jehoshua was instructed, trained, and fully initiated in the exoteric rites, symbols, and rituals of the Kabbalah, but driven out of Judea because of an order by King Jannaeus to slaughter all initiates of the pre-Diluvian mysteries of the Aryan people, lying concealed in the Jewish Kabbalah. Jehoshua fled to Alexandria, where he received further instruction, training, and initiation into the Greek mysteries of Ophis at the Temple of Osiris, as practiced by the Koinobi priesthood. Yet, unsatisfied still, he went on to master the teachings of the Hindu, preferring the life of a true Nasser, that is, a wandering healer, going so far to India and learning of their golden rule. With all his training, Jehoshua returned to Judea and began to preach his own ministry. But in doing so, he outraged all the secret priesthoods of his time, the Jewish, Egyptian, Greek, and Hindu, because not only did he best them in their teachings and practice, but dared share it with the common folk, or profaned. Jehoshua wrote books on magic which he delivered to John. He wrote the work called Magia Jesu Christi, which concerned itself with the serpent Ophaki of Osiris, which unlocks the secrets of connecting oneself to the stars in the heavens via the seven celestial spheres, which are the human counterparts to the planets above. Jehoshua became an expert in Pythagorean sacred geometry, the electromagnetic Hindu practice of Kundalini, and astronomy, known back then as one and the same thing as astrology. Jehoshua forced these stones, which lay buried for ages, to rise to the surface until they formed a mountain, with a cave enclosed, from whose interior in the mountain top he preached his sermon in the mount, not on. Jehoshua, in his Magia Jesu Christi, said, "Upon this Petra I will build my church, and the gates and the rulers of Hades shall not prevail against it." Herein we find but a taste of the strong Greek roots which influenced Jehoshua's true ministry, and through the Egyptian Petra, he meant the rock temple, literally and metaphorically. It was a literal rock temple, or cave in a mountain top he propped up using the magical cubical stone, from which he preached his sermon in the mount, not out in the open, but from inside and behind a curtain, as will be shown, is just as Pythagoras had done when instructing Socrates. It was also in this cave, or Petra, rock temple, his dead body was entombed, and 3 days later, the site of Jehoshua's resurrection. But more on that later. In Egypt, Petra is represented by these three letters, PTR, translated from a group of hieroglyphics on a stela, which is this sign, meaning to show, or the eye of Horus. And this eye is only open through the trinity of Osiris, Isis, and Thoth, whose staffs combined are the serpent caduceus. The Alexandrian Koinobi mystery school, which blended the Greek Ophite serpent key with the Egyptian eye of Horus, discovered it was all a medical allegory for the exact shape and representation of the inner claustrum of the brain, which houses the pineal gland, and how to open and activate this pineal gland. Upon performing autopsies on their departed members, who religiously devoted their bodies to this science of pineal gland activation, even in death, the Koinobi discovered that the pineal gland turned from a gray, silver bullet, bony lump before activation to a green, pearlescent, micro-sized pine cone that glistened like a crystal, or the emerald tablet of thought. And the activation of this emerald gland was found in the very tip of the spine, hidden deep in the region of the coccyx, which is actually below the start of the caduceus staff. It is the home of the original seed, or the first cell before mitosis, which is never killed or destroyed for as long as the body lives, and is thus called the original essence, or, by the Greeks, the blood of Christos, and is shaped like this: a vessel, a grail, or the Holy Grail. In the Magia Jesu Christi, the source of this Christos was the stars, which is tetragrammaton, and gives credence to how we are truly, universally, created in God's image. The essence entrapped in the first seed must travel in a serpentine crawl up the spine, like a snake, and is the movement of the blood of Christ, or Hindu Kundalini, which is born from a serpent seed, must snake its way up the 33 vertebrae of the spine, the number of Masonic degrees, which bears upon its column the points of each ray of the caduceus rays, or chakras, which are the 7 inner fires that release the smoke of old energies through the chimney of the spine. When Thought's emerald tablet is activated by the energy released from the Holy Grail, or serpent seed, one blends their humanity with the divine, capable of great things, and though, to commoners they'd be called magic, miracles, or heresy, to the learned like Jehoshua, it was merely science. A secret serpent science that combined the stars above with those in you, and reunited you with God, the Tetragrammaton. Knowledge he shared with the masses, betraying the secret brotherhood societies he gleaned them from, and even initiating women. That alone was punishable by death. Jehoshua was a rebel in his mission to reveal occulted secrets, but by 363 AD, it was all codified again. It became the myths, legends, and cornerstones to the knowledge and wisdom of Catholicism, and by extension, Freemasonry. And anyone, especially women, who knew it or practiced it, were slaughtered for something summed up as simply the serpent science. And this is the ineffable God, the signet of the living God, otherwise called the Tetragrammaton, which Jehoshua discovered became unlocked, and all the occult natures and forces of God in the heavens and inside of you, and how to unite yourself with God, were revealed with the Ophite serpent key. Yet, its serpent symbolism is why it was the forbidden fruit, and why women were forbidden and still are today from biting into this fruit. And Jehoshua did not just eat from it. Jehoshua set out to share this forbidden fruit, feed others from it, and thereby give them the knowledge and free them, because knowledge is power. Instead, the Pope and other secret priesthoods right under our noses are eating, delectating, and engorging themselves not in just one fruit. These Catholic priests are hoarding the entire garden, while Jehoshua, the true Jesus Christ, wanted to open their secret garden, because this garden is your divine inheritance. And no truer knowledge exists than knowing God. And knowing God is already in oneself, saves oneself. Knowing you have the key to God in you rules out any need for them. And they do not want that. As true today as it was in Jehoshua's, except he did something about it. He revealed the occulted secrets. The paradox is, God is in you. Thus, you, and only you, are your true salvation. Not anyone else, especially not them. It is the greatest wisdom, called serpent wisdom, which alludes to Jehoshua's favorite and often repeated saying, "Be ye wise as serpents." In the next Occult Secrets Revealed, we will discover how the Tau, which is the simplified version of the triple-headed caduceus staff, Jehoshua discovered was not only Hindu and Egyptian, but also Abrahamic, can be used to unlock the rest of Tetragrammaton in you, and is the basis of measure in today's world. With the Tau, you can accurately measure the invisible space-time fabric, and by turning the irrational and imaginal into rational and material, you can then measure invisible distances, which is how the ancients like the Pythagoreans Egyptians, Hindus, including the Maya and the Druid, came to know things about the solar system that this society's scientific and religious propaganda and indoctrination is trying to tell you is barely newly discovered stuff created 6,000 years ago. In fact, it was because of Jehoshua's expertise knowledge on astronomy, the Hindu Chakras, and forces of the magneto-electric human body that the heavens of Enoch are now the old heavens as prophesied by Isaiah. Think you are ready for the Ophi key to activate your 7 celestial chakra spheres and pineal gland? Then book me for your personal natal crystal serpent astronomy report. You can only get this reading exclusively by me as well, because as future Occult Secrets Revealed will show, I discovered this true astronomical horoscope with the help of Uriel in a vision where he sat me down and walked me through extrapolating this zodiacal data using today's technology. For years, I struggled with confusion and frustration because the tropical and Vedic are based on the old Enochian heavens, not the new under which we live. Sidereal comes closest, but still off. For example, the sun transits Scorpio, the sign of Jesus and resurrection, which in the tarot is the 13th key. Only 6 days making any planetary visit to Scorpio, the rarest of them all. And until next time, trust and believe that it is okay to be you. The most beautiful you there ever was, there is, and that there ever will be. Because you are not a story that can be told twice. And there will never again be a stage for you to perform, but this one, right here, right now. So be you, the most beautiful you.